There we go. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, perfect. I am going to go ahead and get started. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just making sure that everything is working and I can get started. Okay, so the topic for this live is wrapping up Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month and what parents need for support moving forward. So I'm really excited to talk about this because this is something that a lot of oh, you still can't hear? Let's see. Okay, just to confirm, is there anyone that cannot hear me right now? Okay, you can hear perfect? Yes? Okay. If you guys can't, just go ahead and let me know. It might take me a second to see your comment, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. Okay, so one thing for Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month, the priority of the focus just is about autism. And more than often, it's more focused around, people who have autism or who are on the autism spectrum or who are autistic, whichever way feels the most important for you to say it. But when I think about the autism community, I think about everyone involved. And not only does autism, affect people who are living with autism or who have autism or who are autistic, but also the people who support people who are on the autism spectrum. And that means parents. You guys are a huge part of that equation. And if you are not on the autism spectrum yourself or you're not autistic and you're never going to have that perspective, which that is perfectly fine. However, as you're a parent navigating all the different things that you have to navigate as a parent, it affects you too. And as much as you love your child, as much as would do anything for your child, you also have to make sure that you are doing things for yourself too. So, what I'm going to talk about in this live is going to focus on the parents. We're talking about the parents. Yes, I may talk about a little bit um, just about, autism and your child, but I just want to pay attention to you guys. Now, before I get into anything, I'm going to give you just a little bit of backstory of my own story. Um, so, 20 plus years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I don't know exactly what that meant for me. I was really young, around maybe 3 or 4, and I never got the support that I needed. And I know that it's different from autism. However, when your brain functions different, you're going to have challenges, especially in living in your day to day lives. Things are going to affect you. So I grew up my entire life, not getting any of the support that I needed. And most often because I didn't have anyone who really understood, how ADHD presented to me. I was really good in school. I did what I was told and I excelled in school. So it was seen as not, having to be something to focus on, or, I'm just living my day to day lives. However, once I got to college, this is where I got my real taste of the real world. I struggled and I went through some things those first 2 years of college. As much as I loved school, as much as I was, excited to learn new things in a completely different environment, it was hard. Just figuring out the things that I had to do. Hello, hello. Hi, Amber. Just figuring out the things that I had to do for myself to be able to navigate the real world and actually thrive in it. And it took me those 2 years to just try to figure things out because I still didn't have anything. I didn't have everything figured out by then. Charles says, my daughter was only recently diagnosed with ADHD and she is 50. I am on the autism spectrum and I too was diagnosed later in life. Yeah. So when you navigate your entire life not knowing how your brain functions for yourself, it is a challenge. It is a huge challenge. And it wasn't until within the last, I would say, 5 years is when I really started to begin my journey of getting the support that I needed. And it started out with seeing a trauma specialist. And that, well, first it started out with seeing a marriage and family therapist, my husband and I. And it did so many great things for our relationship. So that was like the starting point. And next, I went ahead and added a trauma specialist to my support team because there's a lot of things that I went through that I never processed. I didn't have the tools or the skills to know how to process those things. And it was still affecting my day to day life. And, you know, I was getting what I needed from there. And then I got pregnant with my daughter. And when you are pregnant with your child, your first child, or having your first child for the first time, there are so many things that come up for you. And there's so many things that we have to deal with in order to be the parent that we want to be and also be the parent that our children need us to be. And I could not navigate that by myself because I didn't know, I can only see so far with my own perspective. And I needed other people who specialize in certain areas to help me see the things that I needed support with. So having I had a behavioral health specialist and they helped me navigate the different things, my new routine of transitioning from working in the corporate world to, working as an entrepreneur. That was really, really a huge, big thing for me. And with that, with my behavioral health specialist, we did our job together all the way through my pregnancy, postpartum. And then a year after postpartum, that's when, it was time to transition out. And I was ready. And my behavioral health specialist was ready too. And after I remember the last appointment that we had, after that appointment, I could not, focus on the things that I needed to focus on. So something was going on. And I came to realize that I was actually not ready to transition to do the things on my own. And that's when she referred me to the ADHD treatment center in my area. And I went ahead and went through the entire evaluation. I already knew that I had ADHD, but I didn't have any of the documentation. I didn't know how it presented in me. I didn't know what supports I needed so that I could navigate just my everyday life. And after I got the ADHD diagnosis, I added a psychiatrist on my team. So with that, they, initially they placed me with someone that was not a good fit. I knew from the very first meeting. I let them know, and then I was placed with the psychiatrist who actually did my evaluation. And I'm still seeing that same psychiatrist. I'm still seeing my trauma specialist. And right now, where I am in my life, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without my team. Now, when it comes to you as a parent, as you're navigating raising a child on the autism spectrum, having ADHD with any type of brain difference, you not only need support to help you raise your child, but you also need support for yourself. So when it comes to a support team, when you're thinking about, choosing all the right people on your team, it's separated into two separate parts. One part is your professional support team. These are people that you need for you to help you, navigate whatever it is that you need support with. And you have your family support. Now, just because they are family does not mean that they need to be on your support team. They can be there, you can have your own relationship with them, whatever that looks like. But when it comes to supporting you and raising your child, you pick and choose who you want to go to when you're needing that extra support. And your family support includes your friends. So those friends that are there for you, you trust, those people are going to be on your family support team. Now, when you have this support team, you are that support team is what's going to help you out, and both sides of those team or both sides of that team need to actually support you in a way that you actually feel supported. So not just having this really big support team and you're still feeling unsupported. If that's the case, then that means that support is not the most effective support for you. And just like we need support, our children are going to need that support too. So as you're raising a child on the autism spectrum, they're also going to need a professional support team and family support. And those two teams need to actually help your child thrive and help your child thrive. And if you're not feeling supported with anyone on your team, they need to be fired from your team. You are the CEO of your team. You are the person who is running your family, and you can't afford to just have people on your team just for the sake of their feelings. If they're not actually making you feel supported in raising your child, they need to be gone from your team like tomorrow, like yesterday. So that is so important when you are navigating raising a child on the autism spectrum, because, from the very beginning, before you knew anything about autism, before you knew your child was on the autism spectrum, and I'm talking about when you first became a parent, um, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to get the things that you need to be able to help your child. And I know from the bottom of your heart, the one thing that you have wanted to do from the very beginning is just help your child thrive, whatever that looks like. And when you are going through the process of, your child, whatever your process was after your child has received the official diagnosis, that's your process. Everyone's experience is going to be different. But if you had a hard time accepting that your child was on the autism spectrum, or accepting that, you know, things are just going to be different, that is okay. That is a normal response, a normal human response, because it takes time, and it's that acceptance process is going to continue to come back at each stage of your child's life, because as you know, new milestones are supposed to be reached by a certain time. Your child's not reaching those milestones, you may or may not go through that same acceptance process, and that's okay. You have to allow yourself to truly figure out how you're feeling about that process. You're feeling something for a reason. You've got to figure out how to do that. And if you are not able to do that on your own, which I don't think anyone is going to be able to do that on their own, you have to build a support team for you. Your support team is not going to look like my support team. Your support team is not going to look like your child's support team. So just keeping that in mind when you are just navigating all of the different stages in life. So as you're, just living your everyday life, your day-to-day things, you know, I want you to think about what things that are happening day to day, which things are you having the most, which things are you feeling the least supported in? Those are the things that you want to look at first. And from those things, you want to look at the goals that you have currently. What's the most important for the next 3 months in your life, and prioritize those areas that match what you're actually trying to do. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example I'm going to give you an example that I've had to actually break down. So, these last 8 weeks, I've been working on a really big project, and, I have every person on my support team. I know who's on my support team, and I know who I need to go to when I need something. However, because I was doing a really big project that required a lot from me, I had to make some adjustments, and that's going to happen. So I've had to make sure that, when I'm meeting with these people on my team, what we're talking about is related to my goals that are right in front of me. There's a lot of things that I could probably talk about. There's a lot of things that I need to probably process, but everything needs to be focused on what I'm trying to do, because it's so easy to get distracted by everything else, especially in the world that we live in. It is so easy to get distracted. But You've got to learn the skills to cope with, whatever you're going through. You're human. You're going to have your own emotions. You're going to have challenges that are thrown your way, and you're not supposed to figure everything out on your own. It's great to be able to adapt to certain situations, but you've got to have the help where you need it. And your child is going to need the same thing. They're going to have challenges that you may not understand. Their brain functions in a way that you're not used to understanding. So you have to learn your child just like you have to learn everything else. And if you're feeling like, right now, whatever journey you're on, if you're feeling like you're not actually feeling supported, you're taking advantage of all of the supports in your area, whatever the case is, if you're actually not feeling supported, it's because you don't have clarity. And in order to have clarity, you need to know exactly where your child is developmentally. You have to know exactly which supports they actually need and what those accommodations are going to look like. And you need to know what you need to do as a parent to help them thrive. Though that clarity is going to help you get in control and stay in control of your current circumstances. And things are going to happen, and you're going to continue to see challenges at every single stage. And when you have that support team that this is my dream support team, when you have that, going through those challenges are going to be a lot more manageable. They're not going to be easy because challenges are not meant to be easy, but it's going to be a lot more manageable, especially when the people on my team, I know what things I need to delegate. And having that clarity brings so much confidence in the decisions that you're going to be making for your child. And the thing is you don't have to know all of the answers. You don't have to know everything about autism. You don't have to know everything about your child. You just have to know what to look for so that you can problem solve effectively. And that is what's really going to help you help your child navigate the real world and thrive. Now, when it comes to all of those things, you can try to figure it out on your own. And if you did that, it would take lots of time, it'll take a lot of effort, but it is so worth it. It is so worth to really sit down, figure out how you're actually feeling as a parent. Are you feeling supported? Because this journey is a forever journey. And you deserve to be as supported as your child deserves to be supported in their own journey and living, as someone who's autistic, living as someone who, has their brain just functions differently than other people are used to, or their brain functions differently than what other people understand. And just look at what you're currently getting for support right now. Is it actually making you feel supported? Do you feel that your child is actually feeling supported in whatever support they're getting? And I'm talking about, look at everything. Look at your entire support team, your medical team, look at your child's school team, look at your child's any other support or services that you're getting. Look at every single person, all the elements to see where you feel supported, where you don't feel supported, and start firing people and replacing people and keeping the people that are actually making you feel supported. And make sure that, as things happen, you're always coming back to look at what's going on, because that's going to help you do things that are going to be really hard, because parenting in general is a struggle. It is hard. It is very, very hard. And for you, raising a child on the autism spectrum, parenting is different. It is so different. And there's lots of tips, there's lots of tricks, there's lots of parenting strategies. There's a lot of things that people are saying that you need to do for your child. And a lot of the times, they're not bringing in that perspective of someone whose brain functions different than what people are used to, what those popular parenting styles and strategies are saying. So you have to literally cut out all the noise, cut out all the BS. Don't worry about anything that everyone else is saying, and really focus on what's important to you as a parent. What is important for you to prioritize? what is important for you and the life that you want to live. So not just about, problem solving solutions to make sure that your child is getting the support that they need, but what do you want your life to look like? Is what you're doing now on the path of where you want to be? And I know it can feel like this is the only thing that I know, this is how I've seen my life, but I I have been through all of this where I feel like this is my life. I did all the things that I said I was supposed to do. I was going to go to school, go to college, meet my husband, get married, then have kids after, get my degree before that. I did all that. And as my husband was throwing little, nuggets in there or planting seeds of me, starting my own business, even though I said that's something I'd never do, I'm doing it right now. And it has been the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life. In my entire life. I've been in business I'm in my third year now. And as an entrepreneur, it takes time to build momentum in your business. It takes a lot of trial and error. And it takes a lot of, doing things that may or may not work and seeing the outcome. And recently, in the last 8 weeks, I have, leveled up in a certain way and it's just different now. But I didn't even know that what's happening is possible because I didn't even know, like, the support that I needed. I didn't know what I needed to be able to get to where I am. And right now, where I am today, I'm on the path of living out my dreams. And that brings me to, in my business, I have created my own, autism ADHD parent coaching business. And I feel so free to be able to help parents in a way that actually makes them feel supported. So I'm going to go quickly talking about a little bit of my career and like why I'm here where I am. But I started out my career in practicing clinically applied behavior analysis. And I have a BCBA, so I am a board certified behavior analyst. I have my master's degree. I've helped so many families. I don't know how many families I've helped, supporting them as they were, just navigating parenting. Either they have ADHD or they have autism or both. I've helped so many families. However, in working in the system that I worked in the ABA therapy system, there are flaws, there are holes, there are lots of different, there's just no system or framework that is 100% perfect in being inclusive of every person's needs because that's how different we are. We're so different. And there's a lot of things in the ABA therapy system that need to change. And hi, Elizabeth. And, as I navigated just different things, as I navigated just working in the clinical field, when I was officially certified and I had my own cases and I had this green light to be able to advocate in a way I've never been able to advocate before because having your credentials means that your voice is going to be heard more often. And I advocated my way up to the top, to the CEO of the company that I worked for. And there was a moment where, we've had a meeting with one of the other people on the team, and leaving that meeting, I told them all the things that, our parents actually need, what we need as, supervisors to actually help our clients thrive. And their response is, nothing is going to change until the parents change it. And that was my last straw. And that's what really, like, that made me take that step to starting my own business because what I do, it means so much to me. I do not take any of this lightly because it's so personal to me. Being able to help parents navigate something that's so difficult without knowing what they're supposed to need to help when all they want to do is help their child thrive, that's what I get to do for however long I want to, honestly. And that feels so good. And the reason I'm so deeply invested in supporting parents is because I wish that my mother had someone in her life to help her like navigate all that comes with raising a child with brain differences. And, as in my career, as I studied behavior and learning and psychology, all of those things, and I'm able to apply it to real life, all of those things, it kind of just made me realize, when there's just little tweaks here and there in the way that my mother parented me, if she would have done that, I would have been more prepared for the real world. And this is not, a jab at her. She did the best that she could. Her generation of parents, they went through a lot of crap. They went through so much stuff. And, mental health wasn't as important then as it is now. And if my mom had someone like me supporting her through the journey, that would have best helped me navigate the real world, honestly. And it would have helped her, do things that were really hard as well. So now I am that person that I wish that my mom had. And I am that person to anybody that I come in contact and choose to support and who choose me to be on their support team as well. And when it comes to, you building your team and you choosing people to help you on this journey, they're part of your life. They're part of your life going through anyone helping you, supporting you in your parenting. It's intimate. It's so intimate. And you have to be very selective about who you choose to be on this journey with you. And do not be as picky as you need to be. Just make sure that who you're choosing is actually making you feel supported, and not in a way that they are, just telling you what you want to hear. Choose people who are going to challenge you to grow. Choose people who are going to point things out in a loving way if you prefer that, or if you want someone who's more direct, choose people who are going to be direct with you. You get to choose who is on your support team to help you raise your child, whatever that looks like for you. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you guys have any questions or if you guys have any comments, go ahead and pop them in there. I've been talking for about 30 minutes, so I don't want to keep talking the entire time, but yes, a great support team is essential. It really is. And there's so many components. So, I know that a lot of people talk about ABA, and ABA is a great support for some people. What you have to understand about ABA is it for you? Is it for everyone? No. But is it for you? That is something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. So it doesn't, you can't rely on everyone else's opinion to make decisions for what is going to be best for your child. You cannot, manage parenting that way. You just can't. You have to take what people say with a grain of salt. And this is why making your own support team or building your own support team is so important, because those are the people that you're going to value their opinions more, because you trust them. They have your best interest at the center of everything that they support you with. Those are the type of people you want on your team. And when it comes to ABA, that's something that you're going to have to decide, if it's right for you and your family. Because if you decide that ABA is right for you and your family, when you have the right people on your team, when they are very aware of what your family goals are, you know, when you have those people, there are amazing things that can happen. Amazing things. If you have people on your team, if you're currently getting ABA right now, and you have your people on your team that aren't helpful, you can tell this by your child's progress. Is your child's progress slow? Is it stagnant? Is it repetitive for way too long? It's not always because your child's brain functions differently. Sometimes it means just managing the team different and being very selective and really understanding, getting clear about where your child is developmentally. Knowing that is going to be so helpful for you, knowing who to pick on your team, um, knowing what supports your child actually needs. So that means when you know where they are developmentally, you know which areas of support to prioritize. You know which areas of support that your child's going to need in every single environment. You know what your child's going to need when they're at school. You know what your child's going to need in all of those different things. Like I said, you don't have to know all the answers. Just knowing where your child is developmentally, knowing what supports and accommodations they're going to need, and then lastly, knowing what you need to do, what you can do in your control as a parent to help your child navigate the real world. Because one day they're going to navigate this earth without you here. That is the reality. And for some parents, it is very scary to even think about that, to even think about your child having to navigate the real world, you know, without you there, especially because you're the one that's doing everything for your child. And if you're the one that's doing everything for your child and continue to just be the person because you trust yourself the most, it's great to trust yourself, but you have to choose other people to support you because when you're gone, no one is going to continue supporting your child the way you're supporting your child. Because if you're overwhelmed and you're stressed and you are, barely making it every single day, it's unsustainable for you. And it's going to be unsustainable for anyone else who is going to have to navigate, helping and supporting your child later. So you have to get you the support that you need. You just have to. There's no other way around it. You have to do the deep work. The ultimate goal is to, you know, do what you can to the best of your ability and helping your child, nurturing your child's self-esteem, nurturing your child's confidence and their resilience. Doing those things are going to help them be able to navigate the real world when you're not here. Loving them, supporting them, even when it's hard, even when you lose your temper, it's going to happen. You're human. Even when you have your own mental health breaks where you cannot do anything but lay in bed all day, those things are going to happen. But when you have a support team, they can help you out of those things a lot more effectively. And that's what you want. You don't want people on your team who are just, checking boxes off. And right now, unfortunately, we live in a time where the system that runs, where we live, and I'm mostly talking about people who live in America because I don't know about everyone else's system everywhere else. But unfortunately, we live in a system where not everyone is deeply invested in supporting your child. Not everyone is deeply invested in their jobs. Not everyone is going to care about your child being on the autism spectrum or having brain differences. People are just not going to. And that's the reality of how things are. So, because that's going to happen and it's something you can't control, you doing everything to the best of your ability can only happen when you have the support that you need to help you navigate all of the challenges at every single stage, every single stage. So that's all I have to tell you guys today. um, I'm not getting any questions, so hopefully, you guys are just here to listen. That's okay too. If you don't have anything, that's perfectly fine. When you watch the replay, I usually always say this in the beginning, but when you watch the replay, go ahead and tag me in your comment so that I can come back and respond to it. What I do from the bottom of my heart, this is something that I really do feel is my calling. And it's something different than anything that is really out there. It's the alternative. A lot of parents are looking for an alternative to ABA or an alternative to the other supports out there. That is exactly what I have built in my parent coaching program. Parent coaching is my approach to things, everything that I've learned in my career, all of the, you know, the educational things that I've learned, everything I learned in my own personal life, everything I've learned from navigating ADHD myself and building my own support team, knowing where all the pieces fit. I've consolidated all of that into my own parent coaching program that I offer in my own business. So when, everything kind of, kicks off a lot more, I'm in my third year of business, and it's looking really, really great this coming, few weeks. I'm so excited. My goal is to help other people, other professionals who want to do what I'm doing to really help their clients feel supported. My goal is to help them do the same thing later on. So if you have any questions at all, before I go, I'm going to just tell you what my project was for the past 8 weeks. And the only people that I've told are the people like in my circle and the people in my own autism ADHD parent lounge. This is my own Facebook group. I have been working on this vault of resources. It's called the Ultimate Autism Parent Support Vault. And it's broken up into 4 different sections. One section is ABA, is it right for you? So I'm giving you all the things that you need to know as a parent so that you can figure out if it's the right choice or not for you. If that's the thing that's holding you back from getting the support that you're needing to get, it helps you either decide whether you as a parent, you want to make that choice or you want to go with something else. Talk about all the different other options as well. So the second section is all about your rights as a parent and things that are specific to your state for that section. The next section, I talk about autism in your child, what you need to know as a parent to help your child navigate life. There's so many nuggets in that part of the vault. And then the final part is actually building your support team, helping you, understand which pieces you want to put on your team, getting organized, being a parent, raising a child on the autism spectrum. There's so many things that you have to manage, remember, keep track of, their diagnoses, their medication, all of those things. And I help you get organized so that it's more manageable for you. So those are the 4 different sections. I have lots of bonuses for you guys to help you stay on track on things. One of the bonuses is if you were to choose ABA as a support for you, I have an entire checklist of things that, so that you know what to expect, what you're getting yourself into. If the onboarding process is going a little bit too slower than you'd like it to, you know when to follow up. I have an entire checklist that I created specifically for that. Another really cool resource that I created is a medical info tracker. This is something that you put all of your child's medical information all in one place so that you don't have to go scrambling for all of these different things whenever you go and get a different support. All of the paperwork that you have to fill out is usually so overwhelming with that, whatever support you choose. But this medical info tracker is something that it has everything in one place. So if that is something that you're interested in, actually, I'm going to go ahead. If you want to use the medical info tracker that I've created, this is a bonus inside the Ultimate Autism Parent Support Vault. If you are interested in having this for you, I'm going to give it away for free. So if you watch this live, and you want this medical info tracker, you can either DM me or write in the comments, I would like the medical info tracker, and I will send it over to you. Now, for this Ultimate Autism Resource Vault, this is only going to be $23. And I have packed it with so many valuable pieces of nuggets. But I wanted it to be accessible to anyone, regardless of their circumstances. So if you want to know exactly when this is going to drop, fingers crossed, my deadline is May 8th is the day that I'm going to launch it out to the world. But okay, Elizabeth, I will go ahead and send that over to you. If you need the medical info tracker, let me know. I'm going to send it to you. Um, if you I just wanted it to be accessible for everyone, regardless of their circumstance, regardless of the state that they live in. If you have $23, if you can get resourceful and to get $23, I didn't want money to be an excuse for you getting the support that you need to make sure that you are actually feeling supported on this journey while you're raising a child on the autism spectrum. I want to make sure that there's nothing in your way of getting what you need because, like I said somewhere along this live, the one piece of feedback that changed the game for everything is nothing is going to change until the parents change it. So honestly, I am going to help you change it. This is my mission in life, to be the parent that, be that person that I wish my parent had, while she just navigated life, and to really help a ripple effect change the system to make sure that you as a parent, you are in control of your circumstances and you are confident in the decisions that you make for your child moving forward through every single stage of life, not just while they're young, but through every single stage. So I'm going to stop talking now. That's it. Let me go ahead and write down the names just in case the comments disappear later. I know who to send the medical info tracker to. So I got Elizabeth and who else? Yana. Yana B. Okay. And if you guys know, of any parents who are needing support as well, and if they're already in this Facebook group, let them know to watch this live or send it to them. Or if you would like to join my um, private Facebook group, the Autism ADHD Parent Lounge, I have educational content all the time. I do lives, I have themes. Um, it's in the chat. If you would like to join that Facebook group, then that is definitely, it's a resource for you. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. And I always, whoever's in this group, this lounge, it's a very intimate space, and I always, let you guys know everything from before I start anything else. So people in the lounge always get first priority on everything. So just leaving that out there. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Is it just for parents? We have a special needs 501. So yes, the Autism ADHD Parent Lounge is only for parents. You have to be a parent. Your child has to have either autism or ADHD. They don't have to have the official diagnosis. But if you're a parent, you have a child, you're navigating brain differences, that parent support group is for you. And it is, yeah, you can vent, you can, share whatever you want. But my ultimate goal in the Autism ADHD Parent Lounge is to provide educational content from the knowledge that I um, have, different polls to really see where you guys are. This lounge is something, it's a very active, interactive group where you come and get what you need. You come and get what you need so that you actually feel supported on your journey. So that is it. If you have any more questions, go ahead and send me an email, and I am happy to support you if I can. If I can't, I will point you in the right direction. Okay, so enjoy your Sunday. Bye.